gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of OneStream Live. It's the Big Joe Show. It's Big Joe Chef. Hello everybody, how are we? Welcome. Wherever you go. Now, most organisations talk to their team with them. Good connection isn't built in your inbox. Built on camera, which is why livestreaming is so powerful. Good evening, UK, Ireland, Canada. Very, very good morning. Philippines. Whatever you're watching, whenever you're watching the world, welcome to another Tuesday with me, Big Joe. So, stay with me till the end of the show. We're in part 2 of our 4-part series this month. You'll see at the bottom it is one channel every conversation. How you can use OneStream Live to set up your channel both internally and externally. Please go to onestream.live and all of plethora, the library of videos and blog articles that the marketing and the media team have put, and the tech team have put together. So go there. And on tonight's show, we will be looking at 4 parts. Listen, this is only brought to you guys. It's the end of the show already. Got an exciting deal for everybody who wants it. The transition from podcasting to live streaming. All want to get involved with live streaming. Okay, the Big Joe Show. It's Tuesday, as we all know. No show like the Big Joe Show. Keep it right. One of my bugbears in my 61, nearly 62 years has been how organisations, massive marketing projects, spend huge amounts of money getting their message upwards and outwards, but are dreadful at inwards and downwards. And if you ask most people in organisations, there are 2 key issues, I'd say. One is the branches are all stovepipe, which everyone knows. They're all stovepipe. Messages going on from that. They are stovepipe, and if you ask somebody what the quarterly targets are, let alone what the annual goal is, or really where their bit fits in to the wider organisation, most people don't know. It's as simple as that. Please don't tell me that your organisation is different than 99.9% of organisations in the world. And if your organisation is brilliant, and it's on a level playing field, and all the different departments are stovepipe, and they were talking what your role is in the organization, where you're so far. All of that is perfect and all right and work. Please let me know, because I will physically come and see you and find out okay, let's have a look at that in the chat. I'm going to turn all of that off. For some reason, that is Thank you for pointing that out. I'm not sure why. That's obviously a tech glitch in the studio, but I really, really appreciate it. In fact, let's just throw up as we do. There we go, just to show. There's a constant music going on. We cannot hear you. We can now, hopefully. So the Greek goddess, thank you very much for that. I hope you are well. Right. So, yeah. So if your organization isn't stovepiped, if it's working the line brilliantly and you all talk to each other and the message is regularly in one channel and it's coming down to you through your organization, and you know what your role is within your team, within the organization, and how that fits in, if you know what your monthly and quarterly targets are and where they fit in, and you know what the organization's goals are, let me know, because I will physically fly somewhere in the world and I will come and see you, because it just doesn't happen. And that's the simplicity of it, which is why we're talking about looking inwards and downwards and upwards and outwards with the fantastic OneStream Live. And this is why it is growing and growing and growing, and it's the platform to be with. So how does connected feel for your team? How connected are you within your team? Are you informed? Are you aligned? Are you inspired? Or are they surviving on forwarded emails? Are they surviving on WhatsApp groups where everything is actually outside of the secure? And we got a couple of messages coming in there. Communications. I don't understand what that means, but what I great. It sounds powerful. It sounds positive. I hope it is. I'll check on what it is later. And forgive me, I don't know Arabic, but you are welcome to tonight's show, and I hope that you are well. So yeah, is your organization informed? Is it aligned? Is it inspired? One of the biggest problems that we have is we already have too many channels. So you're having Zoom meetings, you're having Zoom Teams, you've got Slack, you've got all sorts of things, and then people are sending information to themselves privately. People are using WhatsApp groups that aren't even functioning WhatsApp groups. You know, it just doesn't work. This is where live streaming really steps in, ladies and gents, as your internal superpower. Okay, it's fast, it's human, it's consistent. So what I want to really explore tonight is why traditional internal comm systems no longer work, as I've pointed out, and how secure live streaming can transform the culture. Go back, please. Go to OneStream Live on YouTube and watch episode 1 last week. And in fact, subscribe while you're there, because what the team have put together is absolutely phenomenal. But go and have a look at last week's episode 1 and where that fits into this 4-part episode on internal and external communication. So here is the channel. Here is the challenge. Inside most communications within the organization, it's chaos disguised, really, as I'd say, productivity. A CEO will send an email out, managers forward it. Sometimes somebody will then rewrite it, all in their interpretation. A newsletter will be produced from it. And by the time it reaches people doing the work, the message has changed shape 3 times. Remember last week what I said about there's a fine example from the World War I in the trenches, when a commander sent a message all the way to the back from the trench saying, "I am going to advance, send reinforcements." By the time it got to the rear teams, the message was, "I am going to advance, send 3 and 4 pins." This mass miscommunication happens all the time. And it's just a constant thing. Nothing changes because people interpret their own message or the message that they're given to be able to send out. And it really, really doesn't work at all. I recently spoke to a medium-sized manufacturing company. They invested heavily in digital tools. So their teams, they had Slack, they had an internet, newsletters. But again, when we surveyed the staff, more than half said they didn't really understand the company's goals for that quarter. Not because the leadership didn't share them, but because the message was buried, or it got watered down, or it got misinterpreted. So people really are craving clarity not quantity. They want to see their leaders, they not just read about them. So how do we shift that? Let me just have a look at the messages as they're coming in. Again, forgive me, I can't translate those messages currently. One of the exciting things about OneStream Live is what's coming in the future is we'll be able to take all of these languages and they'll all come in, and they'll come into the native language that I speak and understand. I'll be able to reply to them, and as they go out, they will go out to the language you're in. That's what's coming with OneStream Live. Anyway, that just explains that little bit there. So how do we look at the moment on how we shift the paradigm, how we shift the mindset to what we're doing? Well, live stream changes everything that you're doing. Instead of scattering updates across those multiple platforms that we've spoken about, imagine a single rhythm inside the organization. Remember last week we said how you can do it? Inwards and downwards, telling your teams, your organization, upwards and outwards, the same message, but on a wider for promoting your organization. One channel, one schedule, one authentic voice, brought to you by OneStream Live. This is what we deliver day in, day out for organizations across the globe. Now, let's break it down to a simple three-part flow that you can repeat every single week. So let's take the CEO briefing, leadership in real time, let's call it. So 5 to 10 minutes every single Monday, a secure live stream to staff only. So what you can do is you can set up the live stream studio so it looks like I've got now. So you've got the bottom thirds, you've got the titles, you've got the branding, you've got the logos on there. It just looks professional. Remember last month when we talked about how we set up the studios to look like a TV channel? Well, this is it. You have got your channel that's showing the same inwards and downwards to your people. And it's the same that when you go live, going external, we look at that more next week, when you're going upwards and outwards with your live stream. So the CEO on a Monday or whenever does the initial brief, rather than an email, rather than anything like that. You're going live, but secure and internally from within the studio to your intranet or however you want to do it. But that's the easiest way. The CEO sets the direction for the week, celebrates any wins, mentions people. We all love a little bit of that. Remember, MMFI, make me feel important. So we all like a little bit of that. People get to see the CEO or the head of the organization, regardless of how big it is, that they wouldn't normally get to see. It gives everybody the same start point, same start line for the week. No long memos, as I said, just really the face of the CEO, the face of the organization, thanking you, jivvying you up, telling you what's going to be happening short, mid, and long term this week, this month, this quarter, the face, the voice, the clarity. And then we look at the second part of that. So the CEO's been on. We then look at the departmental voices, perhaps, and midweek check-ins, streamed privately again to smaller groups. Project progress recognitions. Why would you use, Teams or Zoom, or others are available? But why would you use those when you can use a one platform internally and externally as well? So midweek, your team updates, project progresses, what else? Recognitions, quick demos, and again, you can record those automatically for anybody who can't join live, and then send out to people. So what happens is people are then, excuse me, it's like having a Google Drive or a OneDrive. Okay, people don't use team share sites correctly. They still send emails with attachments, which we shouldn't do, because if you send an attachment to 4, 5, 6 people, 75% of those will save it to their own devices. It is out of date straight away. Why? Because it isn't the originating document. If a document changes or is updated, it becomes out of date. So that's why when you use a Drive link, as a document is updated, or if it's shared, and it's always up to date. And these are the sort of business foundations that we need to be getting organizations into. It's 2025. AI is here, and we're still playing around. I am building drive folder structure systems, which are linked to the domains, linked to the email addresses for businesses, because they've got their data and their content everywhere. It just isn't acceptable. We need to get together now. We need to start doing this and building everything from the ground up. So that's your CEO. Then you've got your team updates midweek, and you've got a learning and onboarding. It's reusable content. Again, like I say, if you go to OneStream.live and you go to all of the tools that they have, if you go to OneStream Live on YouTube, the amount of educational information that you have in blogs and videos and short form and longer form that you've got from the organization, there is no excuse that you cannot get started in live stream, align everything within your company internally and externally, go live, get your message out there, and what you're doing is you're elevating your brand and building a thriving, engaged community, and you can only do that through live streaming. Okay. So reusable content, we've covered this many times before. One piece of content that you can then repurpose for many times. Actually, excuse me, you can use the live stream and you can turn that into a podcast if you want to. You can turn that into a blog article. You can put some shorts out that if somebody's missed it, the CEOs, maybe it's 15, 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. You could put a 30-second out, CEO's update this week, boom, and you put the link in the intranet to the full briefing by the CEO. So again, it gives a bit of it ties people into what you're doing. Every broadcast shares the same visual identity, whether it's the CEO, whether it's the midweek option with your internal department. You can use the same brand message like I've got here. So you can have your logos, you can have your bottom thirds, you can have your ticker running along, you can put your messages up. It all just looks professional in what you're doing. Branded intros, logo. Look, people instantly recognize it as an official trusted communications. You're trying to drive people away from using WhatsApp. You're trying to drive people away from using all of the other tools that they don't need to do that. So how can we do that? Well, let's make it real. So we've talked about the CEO steps into the virtual studio for the quick update. Okay, what's new, why it matters, what happens next. Again, you can set the studio up so we can go live to 45 different locations and platforms. And especially, most importantly, you go live to your website. There's still not enough people doing that. Everybody should be using social media as a tool, a funnel to driving people to your website. So you need to be live to your website, because once they're live on your website and people are watching you there, they're more likely to click a button and join a club, community, download a course, buy a product, a service, or whatever. That's the reality. We're using social media in the wrong medium. It is a funnel to drive people to your organization's website, where you then capture people. It's as simple as that. So the single live stream that you're doing sets the week's tone. Here's the same message, the same branding that you're doing midweek as well. And you, like I say, you keep that as your reusable content as well. Again, fast forward to the Friday, same studio, same workflow. This time it's HR team recognizing staff milestones, the operations manager sharing next week priorities. So you're bouncing through the week. You've got hump day on the Wednesday, CEO on the Monday, HR or the operations team or whatever on the Friday. And the cycle goes. The process doesn't change. Professional intro, consistent branding, analytics, replay. The only difference is, that's right, who's speaking. It's as simple as that. This rhythm we find, excuse me, for organizations builds unity across the whole piece. It becomes definitely part of the organizational culture, communication. People will actually look forward to, because it's human, it's transparent, it's useful, and it's quick. There is a thing called semantics for learning, where some people like to hear, some people like to read, some people like to watch. But the most powerful of all of it is watching somebody speak, because it's the next best thing to being in an office with them, or in our case, if we're doing the rugby or whatever the case may be. It's the next best thing. You cannot beat the video. So here's your takeaway really for tonight. Internal communications isn't about sending more messages. It's about creating meaningful moments of connection. When people get used to this, is one of the reasons when we pick up a new client with Livestream Solutions, we do a 3-part series. Part 1 is as was. So where did the company come from? What are the products and services? Why would they set up? What was the raison? What is the raison d'etre, etc., etc. And it builds that connection with people. Part 2 is as is. So we've gone from as was, as is where are they now? What are the product services? Bring on some people that you've worked with as well. And again, when you're doing this internally for your company, bring on some people who have done really, really well, or a happy client from the customer can come into the internal studio. Imagine that with your department, and you've got somebody. It makes you feel that the work that you have done has been worthwhile. We don't tie enough of these things in. We just goes back to that stovepipe thing again. So it's about creating those meaningful moments of connection. Okay, so you got to remember this: when leaders show up consistently, when they take the focus off being egotistical and it's about them, put it into the wider margins of it's about the organization. What can I do for the, don't ask what the organization can do for you, it's what you can do for and with the organization. It becomes almost that level playing field that I talk about, and people feel, and then if I make me feel important, they feel valued in what they're doing. People don't feel valued, they don't stay. When messages stay centralized, by the way, the culture always stays strong. That is my almost 62 years, masters in leadership and management, built different projects and things in hostile and benign environments across the globe. Let me tell you, when a culture is strong, when a message is centralized, people buy into it and they understand their role in what the organization is trying to do. If they don't, they pay lip service, they then disappear and go. Live streaming with OneStream Live gives every organization the power to speak with one clear voice, from the boardroom to the break room. Next week, we turn outward for episode 3, Outside In. Engaging the world beyond your walls, and show exactly how the same workflow builds external reach and reputation, looking upwards and outwards and getting the message out there. If tonight gave you ideas for your business or team, please drop us a comment through or connect. Go to onestream.live, and don't forget, when you go to onestream.live, bottom right hand corner, there's a little red circle with a white envelope in it. If you click on that, you will get the customer support team. There's 2 things: they're tech, so they understand the system inside out. They can give you the links to the necessary blog article, video, or answer that you're needing straight away. They can help get you started. They can put you in touch with myself or any of the rest of the team. And they are human above all. It is the best customer service team I have come across in the last 10 years. This is OneStream Live, because they're humans, they're not bots. It's as simple as that. This has been part 2 of One Channel Every Conversation. I'm Joe Shepherd, brand ambassador with OneStream Live, and this is where clarity becomes culture. Now, if you go to OneStream Live and check out the Black Friday deals, let me just throw this big boy up for you. Yowza, absolutely superb. There are lots and lots of things coming in with the Black Friday deals. I'll be putting more stuff out over the next week. So Black Friday deals are there to be had. Go to onestream.live to check all of those out. Like I say, we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And remember this is OneStream Live. One channel, every conversation, only with OneStream Live. I'll see you next week. Take care.
Did you know that over 80% of internet traffic is video content? So, if your brand isn't using video marketing, you're already falling behind. Short-form videos are ruling social media. Live streaming is driving real-time engagement. AI-powered video personalization is changing the game. Video isn't the future, it's now. Why does video marketing matter in 2025? Boosts engagement. People retain 95% of a message in a video versus 10% in text. Skyrockets conversions. Videos on landing pages increase conversions by 80%. Dominates social media. Platforms prioritize video content, pushing your brand to the top. If you want to grow, connect, and sell more in 2025, video marketing isn't optional, it's essential. Start now. Start with video. Start with OneStream Live. What's your video strategy for 2025? Drop us comment below.